Hello, everybody. Hope everyone had a fantastic Labor Day weekend. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelorette Recap, a Guys Review. And in this video, we've got all the updates from night one of the Fantasy Suites, which was last night, Labor Day evening. And labors of love happened, in some cases, during the Fantasy Suite, and in others, not so much. So we're going to discuss this. I'll read my notes back to you. No edits, no jump cuts, as we do. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals, and I'm also on Patreon. I'll be going live at 10 a.m. this morning, patreon.com/Dave Neal. Of course, we've got our featured teacher of the day here. We're going to share. It's Kelly. Now, Kelly actually wrote in, and she's a single mom, and she's got a couple kindergarten teachers for her child, Miss Sabrina and Miss Melanie, and they've got their wish list here. So if you guys want to be charitable this morning and help out, I mean, look, as little as a six-pack of fun kid scissors, some arts and crafts, anything to help these teachers inspire kids to stay focused, have fun, be creative, play with mini dinosaurs. Everything looks like so much fun here. I want this for my room. Anyway, link in the comment section below to be a part of that. All right, Fantasy Suite Night 1 recap. Unlike the last few seasons, they go back to separating the men as they wait for their shot at the Fantasy Suite dates. Rachel and Gabby celebrate in Riviera Maya with some champagne. Both look glowing. Rachel says Tino's family isn't accepting of her, happy that he said he's falling in love with her. Rachel says she's also falling in love with Avon, but didn't tell him. Rachel doesn't want to pull a Clayton. Of course, we got an image. Did she pull a Clayton? So we'll get into that. We'll discuss that in a minute. And if you want to discuss that further, you can go to Dave Neal's community on Facebook. There's a whole thread talking about it if you need to kill time at work today. Gabby then says she's had fun with Johnny, but thinks he isn't ready for marriage. Gabby says he could surprise her. A lot of surprising can happen at the Fantasy Suite. It's like, let's see what his package looks like. Unwrapped, that is. Gabby says she told Eric she's falling in love with him. And then Rachel says they get to rewrite what this weekend means. Of course, try to make it a little less sucky, like when they were on the receiving end of Clayton's, telling them he loved them and all that shenanigans. But hey, maybe they'll have more empathy for Clayton now that they're in this position too. We'll have to see. Gabby and Eric are up first. Here they are. I've got them jumping off the thing. Gabby and Eric are up first. They do a date at a cenote, which is Mexican for the best time you'll ever have. Gotta love a good cenote, these underwater cave systems in Mexico. How beautiful are they? And also very romantic and spiritual. Eric says that it hasn't been easy dating Gabby since she has two other guys. The metaphorical leap of faith from the high platform, the black box over her bum. God forbid we see some butt crack before Fantasy Suites. You know what I mean? Oh boy. But that's the puritanical society we live in. Gabby tells Eric at dinner that she did a lot of growing up on her own. They have a good conversation at dinner. She asks Eric to join her in the Fantasy Suite, as we call it, the Bang Bungalow, the Sex Shack, Bumpin' Bodega, the Smash Room, the Thrust Condo, the Cum Castle, the Hotel, Motel, Holiday Inn. Okay. I digress. The morning after they stumble down the stairs, wrinkled clothes, hair disheveled, buttons undone. They cook bacon. Bacon is the best first sex morning after food. Although leave a comment if you've got a better first sex morning after. I'm getting married in 48 days. There's no more first sex morning after food. We just do biscuits. Biscuits in bed, baby. You gotta love a good biscuit and gravy. That's why you marry a girl from the South. Eric says he's not super jealous, but of course he says this is now gonna suck that she has other dates. He's like, yeah, it's not. It's like it's a perfect example of a guy who plays it cool when he still has the pheromones and the oxytocin from a good night's romp, and then as time goes by, he will ruminate and spiral as he twiddles his thumbs in his hotel room with nothing better to do. Join the crowd. You're not alone in this one, Eric, even though you feel like you are. Gabby says she is more than falling in love with him, but doesn't want to tell him because of the Clayton situation. She wants to save it for the right moment. I don't know. I mean, that sounded like the right moment, but what do I know? She says when she is with him, she thinks she could be with him forever, but afraid that the feeling won't hold up. They spend forever saying their goodbyes. The poor camera guy, he's just standing there. He's like watching them and make out. He's like, we're supposed to go on break 22 minutes ago. And Eric's like, no, you say goodbye. And Gabby's like, no, you say goodbye. And the camera guy's like, I think my union does, lunchtime. They spend forever. Okay. I get it. She's nervous that she will have the same vibes with someone else, so it is his to lose, it seems. Yeah, this is Eric's game to lose at this point. Rachel and Avon are next. Let's go to Rachel. Oh, they're the smooch. Rachel and Avon, here they are, hanging out on a boat. They have a hot tub on a boat. Hey, sexy date already. They got a pool on top of a floating boat on top of God's pool, the ocean. Avon has been a sleeper for Rachel. He's slowly made it to the finals. Everyone's like, how did he get here? And it's nothing against him. It's just the edit. We haven't seen that much. She dresses in a stunning fuchsia dress for their evening portion. She's worried to tell Avon that she's falling for him per the Clayton rule. Everyone's worried that they're going to come off hypocritical. Avon says he's ready to propose. Rachel tells Avon she is comfortable saying she is falling in love with him. Okay, so we have the game of linguistics, falling in love versus in love. I'm on the road there, but I saw someone explain it this way. You're on the flight there, but you're not at baggage claim. And I get it. It's different. But he accepts that she's falling in love with him. They do the fantasy suite morning after. They canoodle and say goodbyes. And Rachel says, don't forget I'm falling in love with you. If it doesn't end up being Avon, I expect a huge heartbreaking moment for Avon here. Because look, I get it. Here's the deal, right? She didn't say I'm in love with you, which is different, but it's like, okay, if you're going to get really mad at somebody for saying I love you to multiple people, but you said I'm falling in love to one person, maybe saying I'm love you to someone else, it's like, okay, one's worse than the other, but it just goes to show, and I'm not judging her whatsoever, but it just goes to show as we watch the Clayton season play out that we knew this was going to happen, because you do fall for different people. Your heart can pursue different things and compartmentalize on all these things. Not to mention they've been, in these sort of heavily produced situations without their other parts of their life, so they're all in, right? So look, I'm not judging Rachel whatsoever, and it is not as egregious as what Clayton said and did. But of course, you would think if we're having an honest conversation, she can now understand what got Clayton to that moment. All right. Leave a comment. Let me know if you disagree. So anyway, Tino speaks with Jesse as he waits for his date. Says this week's going to be awful. He tells Jesse how tough his parents were to Rachel. All right, so let's go to Tino's turn. We have Tino gets turned up here with a nice violet linen outfit. Bold move. She's got some sort of peachy bandeau with linen white pants. They do a horseback ride through the jungle, a known aphrodisiac. I don't know. Is it horseback riding? I guess it could be, right? You're thrusting and juking and jiving. All right. They hit up the cenote, the old famous cenote that the Bachelor, rented out for the day. Both talk about having been feeling the love for each other for a while. Then the evening, all the passive ways we say, I love you. I'm falling in love. I'm not falling in love, but I've slipped and I could fall. Love is next to where I would land. That's where I'm at. I'm not in love. So they discuss that they've been having these feelings. Okay, Tino said, I think this is a good recap. I think I'm doing a good job. If you don't like it, I think this is just what you get. This is a pretty good thing. We're killing time. It's free. Join the Patreon. Tino says he doesn't feel like his dad gets him as much. He says they are just skeptical of the situation. They can't fathom this working. Hey, totally fair. So Rachel's like, oh, your dad hates me. And Tino's like, he doesn't hate you. He hates the show. So let's just, separate yourself from the show. You're the lead on a show he doesn't believe works. So if it does work, you'll prove him wrong and that'll be fine. That's okay. It's not like he's like, oh, I hate Rachel. I hate pilots from Florida. It's not that at all. So shout out to Joe Franco. How are you, buddy? They have a steamy makeout sesh. Tino screams, I love Rachel. Rachel and Tino said, I love you to each other. And when you say it once, you can't stop saying it. Cat's out of the bag. Even before they squished their squash, they had the I love yous being said. All right. Gabby's overnight date with Johnny is next. There is old Johnny boy. Okay. They do a boat ride. Let's see if they will be rocking that boat, metaphorically speaking. Then the boat hits rough waters. Metaphorically speaking, Johnny tells Gabby he can't get engaged in the next week. It scares him. It's like, look, I get it, bro. Man to man, mano y mano. It took me 6 years, and I loved my fiance the whole time. It's you got a lot of things going on in life. It might piss people off if you can't get somewhere as quick as other people can, but you do you, man. You figure it out on your time. They do the old beach breakup, and again, it's ironic if you know what happens with Johnny. They do the no spoilers here. They do the old beach breakup. Gabby gives him a hug and a kiss. Johnny says his feelings are numb. He says he'd love to give her what she wants, but he isn't there yet. All right, yeah. So maybe he was into her, but he just didn't access that place on a TV show with cameras that he might otherwise get in a more authentic moment. Meanwhile, Jesse talks with Jason. He says he isn't falling in love yet. Love his personality. He has engineer brain, very analytical. He says he isn't ready to get engaged and won't hide anything from her. Yeah, he's just not playing into the system. but don't you want to tell her you're falling in love? He's like, I don't know if I am. I mean, I like her, but like, we haven't done butt stuff. I'm kidding. We haven't done, we haven't gone to this, that, whatever. Then they go to Eric. Gabby gets a note that says, I need to see you. I'll be waiting on the bridge. And this is what the big lead up for the for the teaser for next episode was. I need to see you. I'll be waiting on the bridge, which is very nice penmanship. Apparently, Eric is the same person who wrote the fantasy suite cards for other people. Very good. I mean, that's obviously not his handwriting. They have a longing embrace. She says she thought it was going to be her grandpa. He's like, are you disappointed? She's like, well, kind of, like, oh, grandpa. He tells her he's crushed thinking about her sharing that experience with another guy. He says it wasn't his intention to put her on the spot. He just wanted to tell her how he feels. She says she thought they had an honest convo about it off camera, so she's surprised they're having this convo. She says she's frustrated because he feels like this week is her cheating. He doesn't want her to have this experience with someone else. He says he can't just pretend like he's cool with everything. She says, why doesn't he trust what we have? Well, because he's about to propose and you might be hooking up with another guy. I mean, come on. This system's weird. Every year, it's must-watch TV because it's weird. Just because it's happened with previous relationship doesn't mean your body knows how it's going to respond to the jealousy and all the insecurities that come up. Gabby says she thinks he's testing her, and I don't think that's the case whatsoever. I think the case is he had a conversation, and again, I'm just guessing. My guess is that Eric had a conversation with Gabby off camera during the fantasy suite and shared why he was so anxious and nervous. She told him not to worry, but of course, that ain't how anxiety works. Hey, next time someone's anxious about something, just say, hey, just don't worry about it. See how they go. So for all the people that go, but she already reassured him. Yeah, but when you open your heart to somebody and you expose yourself and you don't know how to deal with all these emotions and you're secluded and have nothing else you can't even watch ESPN. When you have all these things going on, you might get a little weird. You might ruminate a little bit. So they got to brave these rough waters and see how they come out on the other end. But I don't feel any sort of way towards Eric that would be negative. I think he's doing just okay and he loves her. And when you love somebody, those feelings may come out. Let me know what you guys think. A lot of content today. We got a Claire video coming up. Oh boy, that's right. Claire's got a new man we're going to discuss. Follow me over there on Instagram at @DNeals for updated stand-up shows and clips and all that jazz. And also I'm on patreon.com/DaveNeal for private bonus content at 10 a.m. today. Link in the comment section to donate to our kindergarten teachers. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.